Welcome Trinidad and Tobago to our News 4 report, a product of the Government Information Services Limited and the Ministry of Communications. I'm Joseph Lopez. Let's take a look at the headlines. On the occasion of World AIDS Day 2013, the Prime Minister says HIV and AIDS remain one of the world's most significant public health challenges. An early Christmas gift for the residents of Budu and Ramai Trace. Government has extended its low-income housing program, making it easy for more families to acquire a home. Welcome in our top story. World AIDS Day is important as it reminds all of us that HIV and AIDS has not gone away. This from Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar in a media release on the occasion of World AIDS Day 2013. The Prime Minister says HIV and AIDS remain one of the world's most significant public health challenges, and World AIDS Day observed on December 1st is an important opportunity when governments, faith organizations, community organizations and individuals around the world bring attention to the global AIDS pandemic and emphasize the critical need for a commitment and meaningful and sustained response from individuals and communities everywhere. The Honorable Prime Minister says it is an opportunity for people worldwide to unite in the fight against HIV and AIDS, to show our support for people living with HIV and AIDS, and to remember those who have died from the disease. Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar says she is confident that together we can make the essential difference. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar has once again sought to bring joy to the nation's children. Her annual Christmas treat was highly attended and supported for yet another year.
Jingle bell, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Oh, jingle bell, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
Christmas is a time of giving and spreading love unconditionally. Trinidad and Tobago celebrates this season in a unique way with parang music, pastels and black cake, as well as the universal act of showing affection to children. Young ones from across Trinidad and Tobago had a fun-filled day at the Diplomatic Centre on Thursday as Prime Minister, the Honourable Kamla Persad-Bissessar, hosted her annual Children's Christmas treat. There was live entertainment, games and treats for everyone present. The children even got an opportunity to share with the Prime Minister what activities they enjoyed and the message they had for the nation.
I played with my volunteer and I drove cars and I had a very fun time. And I would like to thank everybody who's entertained us on the stage.
Oh, that's so wonderful. Give him a round of applause.
My name is Jai Nelson. What I did all day, eat, have a good time, and to all the boys and girls, Merry Christmas TNT, and have a Happy New Year. And Auntie Kamala, thank you for having this party.
Wonderful. Give her a round of applause. What do you want Santa to bring you for Christmas?
An iPad.
Okay. iPad. Santa, I hope Santa is listening to you. Tell them Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
And Merry Christmas to you. Thank you.
And I love my country too.
You love your country? Whoa! Give her a round of applause. Thank you so much. Thank you.
A child's Christmas seems to be incomplete without a visit from Santa Claus, who ensured he took the time from his busy schedule to join the Honourable Prime Minister in bringing joy to the lives of boys and girls at the Diplomatic Centre.
Santa Claus is coming true.
Santa Claus is coming to town. You better watch out. You better not cry. You better not.
Oh my gosh, and he brought his wife.
Santa Claus is coming to town. Santa Claus is coming to town. Santa Claus is coming to town.
Wow, Santa is in the house. Who you going?
The day ran smoothly, thanks to the help of dozens of volunteers from various schools and groups, as they decided to put aside self and lend in creating an atmosphere that was safe, fun, and one that would last a lifetime in the memories of those who benefited. The Honourable Prime Minister has successfully hosted the Christmas treat annually since she assumed office in 2010, and has given the assurance that she will continue to host the event.
I want to wish everyone here a Merry Christmas, a very holy, blessed Christmas, and of course a great, wonderful New Year.
Nikolai Edwards, News 4.
Thank you, Nikolai. 30 years after its collapse, a Bailey Bridge linking Budu and Ramai Trace in Debe has been constructed, providing easier access to residents wishing to enter and exit the area. Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessor paid a visit to her home village where she grew up as a child to open the bridge.
Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessor returned to her home village in Debe to commission the Budu Branch Trace No. 2 bridge. The bridge is said to be a major connector to residents attempting to exit the Debe area. The Prime Minister says for too long rural neglect has been the norm, and her government has been active in attempting to remove this problem in many areas as possible. 30 years ago, the bridge collapsed and was never restored, causing a disconnect between two communities. Today, the community now has a Bailey Bridge linking Budu and Ramai Trace, providing ease of access within the two areas. Prime Minister Persad-Bissessor says this disconnect has had an impact on community life, and the time had come to improve the quality of residents' lives.
It is a theme that over many years we have people living in outlying communities who begin feeling they are less entitled to the benefits of the state resources and development than other people. It's a kind of neglect, a rural kind of neglect. And when we came into government, we vowed that we will try to put an end to rural neglect. And so we believe and continue to uphold that belief that every single citizen of our country has an equal right to every resource of the state, whether we use it for development, for social and community improvements. Every single citizen has an equal right to resources. After 13 years of neglect, we had designed those schools, we had the funding for it, we went out of government, and the rest is history. For 13 years, the schools were not constructed. They are under construction. So we will link the Clark Road to Ketwaru Trace, just on the side of those schools, so that you can enter into that school, into those schools from the Ketwaru Trace or from Clark Road.
For many residents who have their business at home and are involved in farming, the improved infrastructure in the area will assist in furthering their business outside of the Debe district. Prime Minister Persad-Bissessor says this falls into her government's plans of diversifying the economy in all areas, including small enterprises.
As part of our strategy of developing small towns into centers of economic activity, this will take forward our drive to create small and micro businesses, generate more community-based jobs, and assist in decentralization of government services. The spin-off of success of these strategies will see a greater number of employed persons accessing employment closer to their own communities, and thereby easing the concentration of traffic congestions into towns and cities and widen the distribution of demand for goods and services delivered by the small business sector.
MP for the area, Dr. Rudal Munilal, echoed this new convenience now available to commuters traveling in the area.
Saturday last, on my way to Mohis Road Hindu School, I took 3 minutes from Lal Bihari Trace to Mohis Road Hindu School. 3 minutes using these roads in the back. That would have taken 30 minutes minimum between Debe to Budu Trace. Would have taken 30 minutes. It took me 3 minutes from Lal Bihari to Mohis Road Hindu School. And that speaks volumes about our commitment to reduce traffic, to develop and decentralize government services, and to bring this level of convenience.
The bridge was constructed within 2 days and was as a result of efforts by Minister of Works and Infrastructure, Dr. Suraj Ratan Rambachan and his team. He took the opportunity to commend their hard work and presented them with certificates of appreciation. Kimberly Amkalawan, News 4.
More news after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back. Government has extended its low-income housing program, making it easy for more families to acquire a home. Changes to its previous arrangement announced by the Honorable Prime Minister in April this year was made by the Minister of Finance, Larry Hawaii, at the post-cabinet news briefing on Thursday.
The Honorable Larry Hawaii, Minister of Finance and the Economy, explained that overall, what government was doing was offering the 2% mortgage facility via the Trinidad and Tobago Mortgage and Finance Company to the national community, provided that their joint income does not exceed the $8,000 per month. In April this year, the Prime Minister announced that persons earning on the $8,000 a month would be able to borrow up to $450,000 at the low interest rate of 2% to acquire a home. On Thursday, Minister Hawaii announced that Cabinet agreed the original loan figure be increased.
What will happen is that the targeted income bracket remains at $8,000 or less per month, and this relates to the joint incomes of the families. The government will support the provision of mortgage loans via the TTMF to up to a maximum of 100% financing on the property, and we have made an adjustment to the overall figure, moving from $450,000 to $625,000. So we have now increased the limit to $625,000, and we have put a financing mechanism in place to ensure that the TTMF will be able to provide these facilities at a fixed rate to these homeowners over the life of the mortgage, so that the risk to the TTMF will also be properly managed.
Minister Hawaii said the zero down payment still applies. Felicia Wilson-Moore, News 4.
Trade and Industry Minister Vasant Bharth says changes in the economies of this country's traditional trading partners have caused local businesses to look at redirecting their markets. Addressing members of the business sector, the minister says this is necessary if manufacturing sector is to sustain steady growth in business.
Businesses are being urged to move away from their traditional markets if they are to maintain a steady revenue stream. Trade and Industry Minister Vasant Bharth, addressing members of the Coover Point Lisa's Chamber of Commerce during its Christmas dinner, says changes within the Caribbean and U.S. markets has caused trade to decrease as business within their traditional revenue earning base has dwindled due to the global financial collapse. He says local businesses need to reinvent themselves if they are to keep their businesses current in the market.
When one looks at all of the turmoil that's taking place, the question then is how do you position Trinidad and Tobago with what unique selling point we have to say we are Trinidad and Tobago. So when I go out to the big wide world, and Chan has been out there in Canada, for example, with me, and we sell Trinidad and Tobago, what is it that we're selling? What do we have to boast to the world that we have to offer to them that South Korea doesn't have, or Goa doesn't have, or any other destination possibly does not have?
However, as challenging as this may appear, the minister noted that compared to our regional neighbours, the manufacturing sector has much to be thankful for, as lowered electricity rates, Trinidad and Tobago's geographical position, and a sound telecommunication system makes this country attractive for doing business. Another factor that makes this country attractive is its economic reserves, which the minister says gives an indication of Trinidad and Tobago's financial standpoint.
Our macroeconomic indicators are also very strong. We have over $13 billion in our Heritage and Stabilization Fund. Our inflation rate is running at less than 6%. Our unemployment rate is running at around about 5%. We have about 13 months of import cover, which means that if tomorrow morning everything shuts down, we still have enough reserves to purchase exports, to get imports in for 13 months. So our macroeconomic indicators are also good. All of the rating agencies, Standard & Poor's, Moody's, our own Carrie Chris from the Caribbean, have rated us consistently as investment grades. So we have all of those things that are going for us, all of those advantages that are going for us.
Meanwhile, addressing members during its Christmas dinner, President of the Chamber, Lily Hirai, says her organization remains committed to supporting the government's growth pole plans outlined for the Coover area. Government highlighted 5 areas for development with focus on fostering a partnership entrepreneurship theme between public and private sectors to ensure equitable geographical distribution of state resources.
In relation to the Coover area being one of the key growth poles for Trinidad and Tobago,
As we have indicated before, the Chamber stands ready to partner with the relevant ministries and government agencies in developing and implementing the plans related to the Hoover Growth Pole. As we are aware, we are fortunate to have some of the main contributing factors: the port, heliport, historical sites, land, hotels, to make Central a main tourist attraction in Trinidad and Tobago. Additionally, we will be hosting our flagship event, the Sugar and Energy Festival in May, and will rename this event as Sugar to Energy Festival. We have now included the Ministry of Tourism in this event.
Most of these growth poles will also include the development of information, communication and telecommunications, ICTs, creative industries and agriculture. The Trade Minister says when this is developed, Trinidad and Tobago would have achieved its diversified economy status. Kimberly Ram-Calawan, News 4.
Sport is next after the break. The use of sporting events to promote or assist worthy causes could be considered a long-time practice. On Sunday at the Hazley Crawford Stadium in Port of Spain, this practice will be fully exercised with a massive event to commemorate World AIDS Day. We have the details in full from Wayne Cunningham.
Ian Hayward is the CEO of A-Class International, and he visited News 4 Sports to give us the details about this Sunday's mega charity football event at the Hazley Crawford Stadium.
A-Class International presents the Altruistic Benefit Cup. Altruistic meaning the spirit of selflessness, being more concerned about others before self. The whole thing is a charity football game specifically that deals with the media united, people from the different areas of media against celebrities of Trinidad and Tobago. And the cause is to really raise funds for AIDS awareness and children living with HIV/AIDS, as well as children ailments as well.
Some big names are expected to be on show for the celebs as well as the media.
Well, headlining the celebrity show would be the Dwayne Bravo, and he will bring some cricketers with him, Kevin Cooper, Lendell Simmons, Riyad Emmet will be cricketers. Then you have football, you will have like Anthony Rouget, Sid Gray, Brent Sancho. Sailing, you would have Andrew Lewis. Athletics, you'll have J.U. Gordon. And you have the Minister of Sport and Youth Affairs who will be playing as well. And other businessmen like Dean Atkins from Tribe and some of the sponsors as well. The media is one of the biggest football side I've ever seen in my life. We have about 8 or 9 different media houses and entities involved. You have Jassime, you have Hyper Hopper, JW, Blaze, Shal, Lynx, Sonny Bling. Then you have Jason Williams and a whole host of different artists, Paul Montano from the print media as well.
But it's not only about the football.
The football is to bring out the masses, that's for sure. But when we have the masses, we need to be able to guide them in a particular direction. So that's why we would have created the health fair, which would have asked PSI Caribbean to champion for us. PSI is really the agent in charge of the Got It, Get It campaign. And they will be championing the health fair. The health fair will be doing HIV testing and other communicable diseases and counseling for persons who have HIV, as well as other agencies locally and internationally who will be there with providing their services and providing information on their services. One of the charities, Mothers and Mothers, they have a NGO that deals with mothers living with HIV/AIDS and how they relate with their children who, based on the medication now, they give birth to children without HIV/AIDS. So it's the interrelation between those persons without having the children run risk of contracting the disease.
Ian reiterated that sport for the cause is always a win-win situation.
There's something called sports evangelism, and that is sports transcends all religion, all races, all cultures, all languages, and that's the power of sport. And use sport to be able to pull people who don't even normally communicate with each other or relate to each other to come under one common umbrella to push forward an issue. So it's really healthy, and we also want to encourage the nation to play sports and not just sit down or play games or sit behind the computer only. So it's really a holistic development of the mind. in terms of getting people encouraged or excited about playing sport again. It's also about bringing all the different cultures together, because sport crosses all genders, all scopes, all demographics. So sports is powerful.
Go out, check your status, and support the Benefit Cup on Sunday at the Hazley Crawford Stadium. Wayne Cunningham, News 4 Sports.
Thank you, Wayne Cunningham. News 4 continues after this. Thank you for staying with us. 103 new traffic wardens have graduated and will be dispatched to the streets of Port of Spain, other cities and boroughs around the country, just in time for the busy Christmas season. According to Minister Stephen Cadiz, despite earlier criticisms of the program, it has been effective in ensuring law and order is upheld on the nation's roads.
Governments must always find ways to keep citizens safe and ensure law and order is upheld. Thus, says the Honourable Stephen Cadiz, Minister of Transport. He said as a small country, Trinidad and Tobago has over 700,000 vehicles, and managing that many vehicles is very difficult. The Minister also spoke of the alarming number of road fatalities in the country and noted this as chief among the reasons for government introducing traffic wardens.
Therefore, it is the responsibility of a government to ensure that if you're going to be driving a motor car, if you are in fact going to get your license, then this responsibility comes with it. And that is where the traffic warden division comes into play, to enforce that, to ensure that people are always reminded constantly of what their responsibilities are.
Minister Cadiz told the new batch of traffic wardens that they have their work cut out for them.
You have a huge task ahead of you to ensure that we cut that the road fatalities, that is reduced greatly, that the 30,000 accidents that are recorded every single year, that again that is reduced. The whole issue of traffic and how we and clogging the streets. I mean, I was late and I do apologize. I should have apologized first, but I took nearly an hour and a half to come from Port of Spain this afternoon. So it just goes to show that with a properly managed system, everybody benefits from that.
Felicia Wilson-Moore, News 4.
And that story brings us to the end of our News 4 report, a product of the Government Information Services Limited and the Ministry of Communications. I'm Joseph Lopez. Thank you for watching.